Alright, Goku meets Wonder Woman. This is in Goku episode 10 of Goku in DC. Be sure you hit that like button and let's get straight to it. So let's go. Goku soared through the skies of Metropolis, his new jetpack humming smoothly as he enjoyed the freedom of flight. The city below was alive with activity, but something caught his sharp eyes, a commotion on the streets. A figure crashed through a storefront window, sending shards of glass raining down onto the sidewalk. Goku's instincts kicked in and he dove down to investigate, and as he landed he saw a familiar face rising from the debris. It was Diana, his childhood friend and sparring partner from Themyscira. Her armor was scuffed, her tiara slightly tilted, and her expression was one of fierce determination. As she wiped a trickle of blood from the corner of her mouth and turned to see who had arrived, she called out Goku's name. Her eyes in surprise, but her voice was steady. Meanwhile, Goku grinned, his usual cheerful demeanor shining through. He then asked her what was going on and who was giving her the trouble. But before Diana could answer him, a low guttural growl echoed from the shadows of the alley. A figure emerged, sleek and predatory, with glowing yellow eyes and sharp claws. It was Dr. Barbara Minerva, now fully transformed into her cheetah persona. Her fur glistened in the sunlight, her movements were fluid and deadly. Cheetah purred, her voice dripping with malice. "Your little monkey boy from Themyscira. I remember you. You're the one who ruined my plans on the island." Goku's grin faded as he recognized the transformed woman. "Wait, you're that lady who stole the dagger. What happened to you?" Diana stepped forward, her lasso glowing faintly at her side. "Goku, she embraced the curse of the cheetah, and she's not the same person anymore." Cheetah sneered, her claws flexing. "Oh, I'm better than I ever was, and now I'm going on the hunt." Goku cracked his knuckles and took a step forward, his eyes narrowing. No one was going to hurt his friend. If she wanted to fight, she would have to fight the both of them. But Diana placed a hand on Goku's shoulder, stopping him in his tracks. And she told her old friend that this was her fight. And Goku turned to her confused. He insisted that he could help her, but she didn't have to do this alone. And this made Diana's expression soften, but her resolve remained firm. She told him that she appreciated his concern, but this was something she wanted to do on her own, because Cheetah was her responsibility. Cheetah let out a mocking laugh, her tail swishing behind her, saying that this was very touching. This would go down as a tragic story. They'll call it The Princess and the Monkey. Goku's fist clenched, but Diana stepped in front of him, her lasso now fully glowing. She told him to ignore her because she was just trying to provoke him. Goku hesitated because his protective instincts were warring with his respect for Diana's wishes. But finally, he took a step back with a serious expression on his face. He told Diana that he'll just spectate, but if things get out of hand, he was jumping in. But he believed in her, and Diana nodded, keeping a small smile tugging at her lips, and she thanked him. The tension in the air was palpable as Diana and Cheetah faced off in the middle of the street. Pedestrians had already fled the area, leaving the two combatants to their battle. Cheetah crouched low, her muscles coiled like springs, while Diana stood tall, her lasso at the ready. Cheetah made the first move, lunging at Diana with blinding speed. Her claws slashed through the air, but Diana was ready. She sidestepped the attack and countered with a swift strike with her shield, which sent Cheetah skidding back. And the villain gave Diana a compliment by telling her that she had gotten faster. Then Cheetah growled, her eyes narrowing, but she wouldn't be fast enough. She darted forward, again, this time feinting to the left before swiping at Diana's legs. Diana leaped into the air, her lasso whipping out to ensnare Cheetah's arm, and with a powerful pull, she yanked Cheetah off balance, sending her spinning into a nearby car. Goku watched from the sidelines, his fists clenched as he fought the urge to intervene. His blood boiled for battle, but he would stay on standby. But he could see the intensity of the battle and the way Diana moved with precision and grace. But he also saw the raw power and killer intent and ferocity of Cheetah. Then the fight continued. Cheetah roared, sending her claws through the metal of the car as she pushed herself to her feet. She told Wonder Woman that she wasn't some mindless beast and that she was stronger, faster, and smarter than she would ever be. But Diana's expression remained calm. Her focus was unwavering. Strength and speed mean nothing, but without control, you make too many mistakes. And Cheetah was already about to start making mistakes, and she was lost. She had lost sight of who she was and who she could have been. And Cheetah snarled while her claws swayed in the air as she claimed as she claimed that control couldn't save her from the Huntress, and then she launched herself at Diana once more. With this time, her attacks came in a flurry of slashes and strikes. Diana blocked and parried with her bracelets, the sound of metal clashing against claws ringing out through the street. Until finally, Diana saw an opening and ducked under a wild swing and wrapped her lasso around Cheetah's torso, pulling her close. The lasso glowed brightly, its magic forcing Cheetah to reveal the truth. Cheetah revealed that she was afraid of what she had become, and afraid of losing herself entirely. And Cheetah struggled against the lasso, her eyes wide with rage and fear. She flailed for a release, but Diana tightened her grip while her expression softened. She told Barbara that she could try to help her, but she would have to let go of her hatred. And for a moment it seemed like Cheetah would relent, but then her eyes hardened and she let out a feral roar. With a burst of strength, she sighed, and then her resolve hardened once more because she realized she had to take her down. She charged forward with her shield raised, and Cheetah met her head on, their clash sending shockwaves through the street. But Diana's training and discipline gave her the edge, and with a powerful strike, she countered Cheetah and pinned her to the ground. And Goku watched in awe as Diana wrapped the lasso around Cheetah once more, this time binding her completely. As Cheetah struggled, but the lasso's magic held her in place, Diana's voice was filled with both sadness and determination. But she told Barbara that the fight was over, and she was coming with her to face the trial by the Amazons. Goku stepped forward, his expression a mix of relief and admiration. He told his old friend he knew that she would come out on top, and Diana looked at him with a small on her face because for a moment the weight of her responsibilities seemed to lift. She told Goku that it was really good to see him again, and the group began to walk, and as they walked away, Cheetah growled, showing eyes filled with hatred. She screamed that their battle wasn't over, and that she would escape, and the next time they met, she would make sure that the princess wouldn't walk away next time. Diana's grip on the lasso tightened, but her voice remained calm. She would be ready, if that day ever came. Diana tightened the lasso around Cheetah, ensuring the villainess could not escape, and Cheetah thrashed about against the magical bonds, while her claws scraped against the pavement as she growled in frustration. Cheetah claimed that this wasn't over, but Diana's expression remained calm, but firm as she knelt beside her adversary. She told her captor that she caused enough harm, and it was time to face the consequences of her actions, so she was going to take her back to Themyscira, where she would be judged by the Amazons. And this statement made Cheetah's eyes narrow, her sharp teeth glinting as she sneered. Goku stepped forward, with his arms crossed as he watched the exchange. He told Cheetah that she wasn't going anywhere because Diana's got her tied up pretty good. Cheetah's gaze shifted to Goku, and her grin widened. This monkey is too naive to think this was just about her. He had no idea what was coming. But trust her, he wouldn't want to be in this city much longer anyway. And her cryptic words sent a chill down Goku's spine. But before he could respond, Diana had heard enough. And with a swift motion, she delivered a precise strike to Cheetah's temple, knocking the villainess unconscious. Diana said she was tired of her talking, and Goku, however, raised an eyebrow, impressed by Diana's efficiency. As Diana secured Cheetah's unconscious form, Goku couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Diana, what do you think she meant by that, about not wanting to be in the city much longer? Diana paused, her expression thoughtful. Cheetah's always been manipulative. She's trying to get into your head, Goku. Don't let her. Goku frowned, his instincts telling him that there was more to it. But what if she's not lying? What if there's something bigger going on? Diana placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. If there is, then we'll handle it together. But right now, we can't let her words distract us. Goku nodded, though his mind was still racing. You're right. I just don't like not knowing what's coming. Diana smiled. Neither do I. But that's why we have to stay vigilant. The two stood in silence for a moment before Diana broke the tension. It's been a long time, Goku. How have you been? Goku's face lit up, his usual cheerful demeanor returning. I've been great. I've been training with this guy named Kami. He taught me a lot about controlling my energy and stuff. Oh, and I fought this guy named Piccolo. He was super strong, but I beat him. Diana raised an eyebrow, impressed. Piccolo? I've heard stories about him. He was an ancient demon, wasn't he? Goku nodded enthusiastically. Yeah, he was tough, but I had help from Batman and Aquaman. It was crazy. Diana chuckled. It sounds like you've been busy. I'm glad you're doing well. Goku grinned. What about you? I heard those people call you Wonder Woman before they ran off to safety. Diana's expression softened. I've been saving people since I've been in man's world looking for Cheetah, and they have started calling me that name. Goku's eyes sparkled with admiration. You're amazing, Diana. I think you can be a great hero, because though we both like battle, you are always more responsible than me. Diana prepares to leave. As their conversation continued, the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the city. Diana glanced at the horizon, her expression growing somber. Goku, I have to go. Goku's smile faltered. What, already? We just caught up. Diana nodded, her voice tinged with regret. I know, but my duty is to Themyscira, and the Amazons come first. I need to take Cheetah back and ensure she's properly dealt with. Goku sighed, his shoulders slumping. I get it. Duty's important. It's just I missed you, Diana. It's not the same without you around. You're the only one I've met in my travels that has the thrill for battle as much as me. Diana's eyes softened, and she placed a hand on his cheek. I miss you too, Goku. I can say you are my best friend and the first boy I ever met on the island. But this isn't goodbye. We'll see each other again, I'm sure of it. Goku's spirits lifted slightly at her words. Is that a promise? Diana smiled. I promise. And next time we'll spar like the old times. Goku's grin returned. You're on. Just don't be surprised whenever I win. Diana laughed, a sound that filled Goku with warmth. We'll see about that. With one final hug, Diana hoisted Cheetah over her shoulder and prepared to leave. Take care of yourself, Goku. And if you ever need me, you know where my island is, and I'm sure I can work something out with my mother in letting you visit our people, considering what you've done for us. Goku waved as she disappeared into the distance, his heart heavy, but hopeful that he would see his best friend Diana soon. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit room deep within LexCorp, Lex Luthor stood at the head of the large table, his hands clasped behind his back. The room was filled with shadowy figures, their voices obscured by the low light. Among them were Ocean Master, Weather Wizard, and the Riddler, each wearing expressions of anticipation. Cheetah had jumped the gun, Lex announced, his voice calm but commanding. Her obsession with wanting to hunt Wonder Woman has forced our hand, and we can't afford to wait any longer. Ocean Master leaned forward, his trident resting against the table. So we attack now. Are you surface dwellers ready for that? Lex's lips curled into a sly smile. We've been ready. Cheetah's recklessness has only sped up our timeline. If we delay, she might reveal too much. Weather Wizard twirled his wand like device, a smirk playing on his lips. I've been itching to test this new weather control tech. This city won't know what hit it. The Riddler, ever the strategist, tapped his chin thoughtfully. And what of the boy? The one who rejected your offer to join us, Goku, was it? Lex's expression darkened at the mention of Goku. Goku's a wild card, powerful but naive. If he gets in our way, we'll deal with him. But he isn't really interested in being a superhero. So for now, our focus is destabilizing the city and drawing out the heroes. Once they're divided, we'll strike. I don't think we'll have to worry about Goku. Ocean Master nodded, his eyes gleaming with malice. And what of my brother, Aquaman? He will undoubtedly interfere. Lex's smile widened. Let him. By the time he realizes what's happening, it'll be too late. The world will see that even the mightiest heroes can fall. The Riddler leaned back in his chair, a sly grin spreading across his face. Then it settled. The game is afoot. Lex raised the glass, his voice filled with conviction. To the Legion of Doom. Tonight we reshape the world. The others raised their glasses in unison, their laughter echoing through the room as they prepared to unleash chaos upon the city. Goku wandered through the bustling streets of Metropolis, his mind still replaying the fight between Diana and Cheetah. He couldn't help but smile as he thought about how much Diana had grown since their days on Themyscira. Her strength, skill, and determination were awe-inspiring, and he found himself longing for the chance to spar with her again. She's gotten so strong, Goku muttered to himself, his hands stuffed in his pockets. I wonder if I could keep up with her now. Maybe we'll have to have... I can't wait for that rematch someday. As he walked, the city around him seemed to fade into the background. Pedestrians hurried past, cars honked in the distance, and the hum of urban life filled the air. But Goku's sharp senses suddenly picked up on something unusual. A blur of red and yellow streaking past him at incredible speeds. Goku's eyes widened as he turned his head, but the blur was already gone. None of the civilians around him seemed to notice, but Goku knew what he had seen. Whoa, that was fast, Goku explained, his curiosity piqued. I've never seen anyone move like that before. Well, except for maybe Clark, but this was different. Without hesitation, Goku closed his eyes and focused, extending his senses to detect the energy of the mysterious speedster. It was faint, but it was there. A vibrant, pulsating energy that moved like lightning. Gotcha, Goku said with a grin, his eyes snapping open. He took off in the direction of the energy, his movement a blur, as he moved through the crowded streets. Meanwhile, Barry Allen, also known as the Flash, was in hot pursuit of a dangerous criminal. Barry had only recently come into his powers a couple years ago, after a freak accident involving a lightning strike and a chemical spill. The event had left him with the ability to move at superhuman speeds, and he had since taken up the mantle of Central City's protector. Tonight, however, Barry's mission had brought him to Metropolis. He was after a man who had stolen a cutting-edge weather modification device months ago. The device, if misused, could cause catastrophic damage, and Barry had finally gotten the lead that the thief was hiding somewhere in Metropolis. Come on, Barry muttered as he zipped through the city, his eyes scanning the streets for any sign of his target. Where are you? You slippery. But his thoughts were interrupted when he saw something or someone following him. Barry skidded to a stop, his red suit glowing under the city lights as he turned around. To his surprise, it was a young man in an orange and blue outfit standing there, his excitement practically radiating off him. Hi, Barry said, raising an eyebrow. Can I help you? Goku grinned, his excitement evident. Whoa, you're fast. I mean, really fast. How did you do that? And who are you? Barry blinked, caught off guard by the young man's enthusiasm. I'm the Flash, and I guess I'm just built different. But more importantly, how did you keep up with me? I didn't think anyone could do that. Goku scratched the back of his head and grinned widely. Oh, I just followed your energy. I didn't keep up with you. You're too fast for that, but I just followed your energy. You've got a pretty unique one. It's hard to miss. Barry's eyes widened in surprise. You can sense energy? That's nothing you see every day. Goku shrugged. Yeah, it's something I learned during my training. It comes in handy when you're trying to find someone who's really fast. Barry couldn't help but chuckle. Well, I guess that makes sense. So, what's your name? I'm Goku, the Saiyan replied, extending his hand. Nice to meet you. Flash, Barry shook his hand, a smile forming on his face. Nice to meet you too, Goku. You're not from around here, are you? Goku laughed. Nah, I'm from a small town, but I've been traveling a lot lately. What about you? What brings you to Metropolis? Barry's expression turned serious. I'm chasing a dangerous guy. He stole a weather modification device, and if he figures out how to use it, things could get really bad. I've been tracking him for months. I finally got a lead that he's here, and Goku's eyes lit up in interest. A weather device? That sounds serious. You need any help? Barry hesitated, and then both of their stomachs began to growl. Well, let's go get something to eat first thing first. Right, so the two quickly hit it off, their personalities meshing naturally. Barry suggested they grab a bite to eat while they discussed their next move, and Goku eagerly agreed. They found a nearby diner and took a seat, ordering enough food to feed a small army. As the place piled up, Barry couldn't help but laugh. You weren't kidding about being hungry, huh? Goku grinned, already halfway through a box of pizza. I haven't eaten since this morning. Barry shook his head in amazement as he watched Goku devour plate after plate. You know, I thought I could eat a lot, but you're on a whole nother level. Goku chuckled. You're not so bad yourself. I saw you put away 3 pizzas in like 2 minutes. Barry shrugged. Perks of being a speedster. Fast metabolism. As they ate, the conversation turned to their respective backgrounds. Barry shared how he gained his powers and became the Flash, while Goku talked about his training with Kami and his battles against powerful foes like Piccolo. So let me get this straight, Barry said, leaning back in his chair. You fought demons, trained with a god, and you're still just walking around like some normal guy. And Goku laughed. Well, I really don't like to brag. Besides, there's always someone stronger out there. That's what makes it fun. Barry couldn't help but admire Goku's optimism. You've got a pretty unique outlook on life. You know that? Goku shrugged. I just like to fight strong people and get strong in the process. It's what I do. As their meal wound down, Barry's expression grew serious again. Listen, Goku, this guy I'm after, he's dangerous. If he figures out how to use this weather device on a large scale, he could cause a lot of damage to this city. Right? And then after the meal, Goku and Barry stepped out of the diner, the city lights casting a warm glow over the bustling streets of Metropolis. Barry stretched his arms, his mind already racing with plans to track down the thief. All right, Barry said, turning to Goku. I'm going to do another sweep of the city. If I find anything, I'll let you know. Thanks again for the help. Goku grinned, his hands resting casually on his hips. No problem, Flash. If I find him first, I'll bring him to you. I'm pretty good at tracking energy signatures, and now that I'm familiar with yours, I'll know where to find you. Barry raised an eyebrow, impressed. Oh yeah, I forgot you said you could trace energy. That's actually really useful. But are you sure you're up for this? This guy's dangerous. I don't want you getting hurt. Goku laughed, his confidence unwavering. Don't worry about me, Flash. I face way worse than some thief with a fancy gadget. Besides, it'll be fun. Barry couldn't help but smile at Goku's enthusiasm. All right, Goku, if you're sure, then I'd appreciate that help. Just be careful, okay? If you find him, don't engage with him alone. We can handle him together. Goku nodded, though his grin suggested he might not follow that advice exactly to the letter. Got it. I'll let you know if I find anything. Good luck, Flash. With that, Goku took off into the city, his energy senses already scanning the area for anything unusual. Barry watched him go, shaking his head with a chuckle. That guy's something else. Barry muttered to himself before speeding off in the opposite direction, his crimson trail lighting up the night. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, the Batmobile roared through the dark streets, its sleek black frame cutting through the rain like a shadow. Inside, Batman's eyes were fixed on the road, his mind racing as he analyzed the latest clue left by the Riddler. The Riddler had been unusually active lately, leaving behind a series of cryptic riddles that hinted at a larger plan. The latest one had led Batman to a disturbing conclusion. The Riddler was leaving Gotham for Metropolis, and whatever he had planned, it was big. Alfred, Batman said, his voice low and gravelly as he activated the comm system in the Batmobile. I'm heading to Metropolis. The Riddler's latest riddle suggests he's planning something there. I need you to monitor Gotham while I'm gone. Alfred's voice cracked through the speakers, calm and composed as always. Understood, Master Wayne. But are you certain that this is the right move? The Riddler's games are rarely straightforward, I know. Batman replied, his jaws tightening. But I can't ignore this. If he's targeting Metropolis, it's only a matter of time before innocent people get hurt. I need to stop him before that happens. Alfred sighed. Very well, sir. Do be careful. Metropolis is a different beast altogether. And I dare say you'll have more than just the Riddler to contend with. Batman's lip curled into a faint smirk. I'm counting on it. As the Batmobile sped toward the city limits, Batman's mind raced with possibilities. The Riddler was a master of deception, and his riddles were always layered with double meanings. But one thing was clear. Metropolis was about to become the center of a dangerous game, and Batman intended to be one step ahead of it. We then jumped beneath the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. In the shimmering city of Atlantis, King Arthur Curry, better known as Aquaman, was preparing for battle as his trident gleamed in the dim light of the throne room as he addressed his council of advisors. My brother has gone too far this time, Aquaman said, his voice filled with determination. Ocean Master's rogue soldiers are preparing to invade the surface world. If we don't stop them, it will mean war, a war that neither Atlantis nor the surface can afford. Mira, Aquaman's queen and confidant, stepped forward, her expression grave. Arthur, you know how dangerous Orm is. He's been planning this for years. Are you sure you can stop him alone? Aquaman's grip tightened on his trident. I don't have a choice. If I don't confront him now, countless lives will be lost. I can't let that happen. Mira placed a hand on his arm, her eyes filled concern. Then let me come with you. Together we can. Aquaman shook his head, cutting her off gently. No, Mira, I need you here to protect Atlantis in my absence. If something happens to me, you'll be the one that'll be leading our people. Mira hesitated and nodded reluctantly. Be careful, Arthur. And remember, you're not alone. The surface world has a series of its own protectors. If you need help, don't hesitate to try to contact them, to get in touch with them. Aquaman smiled faintly. I'll keep that in mind. With that, he turned and swam toward the surface, his mind focused on the task ahead. As he broke through the waves and stepped onto the shore, he couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency. Ocean Master's forces were already on the move, and time was running out. Back in Metropolis, Diana, aka Wonder Woman, was making her way through the city with Cheetah slung over her shoulder. The villainess was still unconscious, her lasso-bound form a testament to Diana's strength and determination. Almost there, Diana muttered to herself, her eyes scanning the streets for a safe place to secure Cheetah. Before she could take another step, a deafening explosion rocked the city. Diana spun around, her eyes widening as she looked at a building on the other side of the street engulfed in flames. The force of the blast shattered windows and sent debris flying in all directions. Civilians screamed and ran to cover their faces, filled with terror. No, Diana cried, her heart pounding as she realized what had just happened. Without hesitation, she sat Cheetah down against a nearby wall, secure with her lasso, and talked to the unconscious body, said, "Stay here." She ordered, then she sprinted into the direction. People were crying, trapped outside, screaming for help. She found a group of civilians huddled in the corner, their faces blackened with soot and their eyes wide in fear. Diana told them that it was okay, and she was going to help them out. They reached the exit before the building could explode. When they reached the gas, sending a wave of smoke. She shouted to them to get to safety, and Diana watched them go, her heart heavy, her resolve unshaken. As she turned, re-entered the building and searched for more survivors. She couldn't help but wonder what caused this explosion. Was it an accident or was something more sinister? Either way, Diana knew one thing for certain. She wasn't leaving until every last person in this building was safe. Diana emerged from the burning building, her face streaked with soot and her armor scorched with intense heat. She had managed to save everyone inside, but the effort had taken its toll. As she caught her breath, her eyes darted to the spot where she had left Cheetah, and her heart sank. Because Cheetah was gone, the lasso lay coiled on the ground, its golden glow dim. Diana had clenched her fist, frustration bubbling inside her. How could she, before she could finish her thought, another explosion rocked the city. This time a few blocks away, the ground trembled beneath her feet, and a plume of smoke rose into the sky. Diana's eyes narrowed as she realized this wasn't a coincidence. This is no accident. She muttered, her voice low and tense. Someone is targeted in this city. She glanced around, her mind racing. Cheetah escaped, and the explosions, it had to have been connected. But who was behind it? And what was their endgame? Diana didn't have time to dwell on it. As the sounds of sirens filled the air and she knew the authorities would be overwhelmed, she had to act fast. Cheetah can wait, Diana said to herself, her resolve hardening. Right now I need to stop whoever is doing this. With that, she took off toward the site of the latest explosion, her lasso glowing faintly as she prepared for whatever lay ahead. Meanwhile, Clark Kent was on his way back to the Daily Planet, a bag of takeout in his hand. He had been sent on yet another errand for his boss, Perry White. But he didn't mind. It gave him a chance to clear his mind and think about the strange events that had been unfolding in Metropolis lately. But as he walked through the bustling streets, something caught his attention. Every screen in the city, billboards, TVs, and storefronts, even the giant monitor in the center of the square, flashed to life, displaying the same image. Clark stopped in his tracks, his eyes narrowing behind his glasses. The screen showed a man dressed entirely in green, his face obscured by his fedora that was leaned down. Beside him stood another figure, one that Clark recognized immediately. That was the Toy Man, the notorious villain with a penchant for using his toys to cause deadly toys to cause destruction. And he was grinning ear to ear on the screen. The man in green stepped forward, his voice booming through the speaker. "Citizens of Metropolis," he began. "I am the Riddler. I am the Riddler. Some of you think of me a criminal mastermind. I think of myself as a game master. And I've grown tired of Gotham. The dark alleys, the brewing vigilantes, they've lost their charm. So I'm looking to expand. And the explosions you've been hearing are just a taste of what's to come. And if you can't stop us by solving our riddles, many people's lives will be at stake." Clark looked at it. "This is bad," he muttered, his mind already racing to plans. He needed to act fast, but he couldn't just disappear in the middle of the street, so he ducked off into an alley and changed into a Superman costume that was below. His glasses tucked safely into his pocket. With a powerful leap, he soared into the sky, his cape billowing behind him as he headed toward the source of the broadcast. The Riddler was beginning to make his sinister announcement. The screens across Metropolis continued to broadcast the Riddler's chilling speech. He placed a bunch. It's revealed that he placed a bunch of toy bombs around the city, right? And Toy Man giggled in a high-pitched voice as he said that. "We don't want to spoil the surprise, but just know that if you don't disarm the bombs, There'll be a lot of fireworks in Metropolis. The Riddler's voice echoed over the visuals. The first riddle is this. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have a lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? You have 1 hour to solve it. Fail, and the bomb will detonate. Good luck. The broadcast ended abruptly, leaving the city in a state of panic. People scrambled to solve the riddle, their fear palpable as they realized the stakes. Just as the confrontation between Aquaman and Ocean Master seemed to escalate, the water behind Ocean Master began to churn violently. A massive figure emerged from the depths, its hulking form casting a shadow over the shoreline. Goku's eyes widened as he took in the sight of the newcomer. It was a humanoid shark with razor-sharp teeth glistening in the moonlight, and its muscular frame radiated power. Whoa, Goku muttered, his grin returning. Now that's something you don't see every day. The shark-like creature let out a guttural roar, its eyes locking onto Goku and Aquaman. Ocean Master smirked, his voice dripping with satisfaction. Allow me to introduce my newest ally, Ocean Master said, gesturing to the creature. This is King Shark, and he's here to ensure my victory. Aquaman's expression darkened. King Shark, Orm, what have you done? Ocean Master chuckled. I secured the loyalty of one of the most dangerous creatures of the ocean. In exchange, he gets to feast on the surface dwellers once we've taken control. Goku stepped forward, his fist clenched. Yeah, that's not going to happen. If this guy is as tough as he looks, I'll take him on. King Shark let out another roar, his massive fists slamming together as he charged towards Goku. The Saiyan braced himself, his energy flaring as he prepared for the fight. Aquaman turned to Goku, his voice urgent. Be careful, Goku. King Shark is not an ordinary foe. He's way stronger than he looks. Goku grinned, his excitement evident. Let's hope you're right about that. As King Shark closed the distance, Goku leaped in to the air, his fist cocked back. The two collided with a thunderous impact, the force of their clash sending shockwaves through the air. Aquaman turned his attention back to Ocean Master, his trident raised. This ends now, Orm. Ocean Master smirked, his trident glowing with energy. We'll see about that, brother. The battle was on, with Goku facing off against King Shark and Aquaman confronting his brother Ocean Master. The fate of the surface world hung in the balance, and the heroes would need to give it their all to emerge victorious. Then we jumped to Superman, who had been flying through the air, high above Metropolis. Superman soared through the sky, his cape billowing behind him as he scanned the city below. The Riddler's broadcast had put everyone on edge, and Clark knew he had to act fast to prevent further chaos. As he flew, he noticed something unusual. The weather in Metropolis was behaving erratically, with dark clouds forming out of nowhere and lightning crackling in the distance. This was strange, especially since there had been no storms forecasted anytime soon. His attention was drawn to a sleek, high-tech car speeding through the streets below. It moved with precision, weaving through traffic with ease. Superman activated his X-ray vision, his gaze piercing through the vehicle's exterior to see who exactly was inside that car. To his surprise, he recognized the driver. It was the man dressed as a bat, the same one who had fought alongside Goku against Piccolo. Batman, Superman said, his voice low. What's he doing here? Without hesitation, Superman descended, landing in front of the Batmobile with a gentle thud. The car screeched to a halt, its tires smoking as it came to stop just inches from the Man of Steel. The Batmobile's door opened, and Batman stepped out, his cape flowing behind him as he approached Superman. His expression was as stoic as ever, but there was a hint of urgency in his eyes. Move, Batman said, his voice gruff. I don't have time for this. Superman crossed his arms, his stance firm. I'm not here to get in your way, Batman. I just want to know what's going on. The Riddler and Toyman are causing chaos in my city, and I need to stop them. Batman's eyes narrowed. Your city. Metropolis belongs to its people, not you. And if you're so concerned, why haven't you stopped them already? I know about your powers. Superman sighed, his patience wearing thin. I'm doing everything I can, but I can't be everywhere at once. That's why I need your help. You've dealt with the Riddler before. You know how he thinks. Batman's expression softened just a little bit, though his tone remained sharp. The Riddler's not working alone. He's teamed up with the Toyman, as I'm sure you know. And they've planted toy bombs all over the city. If we don't act fast, innocent people will die. Then Batman pulled out a small device from his belt, displaying a map of the city with several red markers on it. These are the locations of the bombs, I'm almost sure of it. The Riddler's tied them to the riddles. Solve the riddles and we can disarm them. Fail and bombs go off. Real simple. Superman nodded, his resolve hardening. Then we don't have a moment to lose. Let's work together to stop them. Batman hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Fine, but we do this my way. No flying off half-cocked. Understood? Superman smirked. Understood. Lead the way, Batman. With this, the Batman climbed into the Batmobile and Superman was going to fly next to the car. Their partnership forged in the face of a common threat. As the car sped through the streets, Superman couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. Together they could surely stand a better chance at stopping the Riddler and Toyman before anybody could get hurt, or anyone else at least. Barry Allen, aka The Flash, had been racing through the streets of Metropolis. His mind focused on one thing, finding and stopping the Weather Wizard. The rogue weather modifier had been causing chaos across the city, and Barry knew he had to stop him before things got way worse. As he rounded a corner, Barry finally spotted his target. The Weather Wizard stood in the middle of a deserted street, his wand raised as dark clouds swirled overhead, lightning crackled in the city, and the wind howled like a wild beast. There you are, Barry muttered, skidding to a stop a few feet away from the villain. Time to end this. The Weather Wizard turned, his eyes narrowing as he recognized the Scarlet Speedster. Flash! I was wondering when you'd show up. Too bad you're too late. Barry crossed his arms, his expression serious. It's over, Martin. Whatever you're planning, it's not going to work. Surrender now and maybe we can avoid a fight. The Weather Wizard laughed, his voice dripping with malice. Surrender? You really think I'm going to let you stop me? I've got the power of the storm at my fingertips, Flash, and you're just a fast man playing dress-up. Barry's eyes narrowed. We'll see about that. With a burst of speed, Barry charged the Weather Wizard, his movements a blur, but before he could reach him, the villain raised his wand, summoning a powerful gust of wind that sent Barry flying backward. Barry landed on his feet, his eyes narrowing as he assessed the situation. Okay, so he's got some tricks up his sleeves. Good to know. The Weather Wizard smirked, his wand crackling with energy. You're out of your league, Flash, but don't worry. I'll make this quick. With that, he unleashed a barrage of lightning bolts. Each one aimed directly at the Flash, but he dodged and weaved, his speed allowing him to avoid the attacks. But he knew he had to do something more long-term. Couldn't do this forever. Think, Barry, think, he muttered to himself as he ran. There's got to be a way to stop him. As the battle raged on, the storm grew more intense. The winds howling and the rain pouring down the street in the sheets. Barry knew he had to end this fast before the Weather Wizard's storm caused even more damage. Right? While that was happening, deep within the bowels of LexCorp, Lex Luthor stood in his private lab, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Before him stood a massive mechanical suit, its sleek design radiating power and menace. The suit was unlike anything the world had ever seen, its surface glowing faintly with an eerily green light. Lex ran a hand over the suit's surface, a satisfied smile spreading across his face. Perfect, he murmured. Everything is falling into place. He stepped back, admiring his creation. The suit was equipped with the latest technology, including a power source that harnessed the energy of kryptonite. Lex had spent years perfecting this design from all the shards that Goku had been collecting, and the prototype to see how it ran through Metallo, and now it was finally ready. On this day, Lex said, his voice filled with determination, the world will see how super the man really is. He climbed into the suit, his mechanical arms whirling to life as they sealed him inside. The suit's systems activated, its HUD displaying a wealth of information about his capabilities. Lex smiled widened as he felt the power course through the circuits. Superman thinks he's untouchable, Lex said, his voice echoing through the lab. But he's about to learn that even a steel man has a melting point. With that, he activated the suit's thrusters, the powerful engines propelling him into the air. The roof of the lab opened, and Lex soared into the sky, his eyes locked on the city below. Let the games begin, he said, his voice filled with malice. And that's where we're going to be ending things off. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this narration style, man. Be sure you leave a like. Gone.